Hello, I'm Justin Arrington. This is my capstone video for Kennesaw State University's Instructional Technology program. I am pursuing my master's degree at Kennesaw State University. I started the program in the summer of 2015, and I plan to graduate in May of 2017. I earned my undergraduate degree from Georgia Southern University in 2006 and have been employed by Rockdale County Public Schools for the past 10 years. My capstone project is called Using Problem-Based Learning to Increase Student Engagement in the One-to-One Setting. The goal of this project is to increase student engagement to facilitate my school district's vision of creating a student population that has the skills they need to become engaged, digitally responsible citizens ready to compete in today's technology-infused society, as stated by Rockdale County Public Schools' Learning Reimagined Plan. While every student at Rockdale County High School has been issued their own personal laptop device as part of Rockdale County's Learning Reimagined Plan, based on prior classroom observations and staff interviews, very few students and teachers use the devices on a regular basis to increase student engagement and achievement. This problem became evident by not only observing and talking to students about their use of technology in different classes, but by also surveying teachers about how often they implemented problem-based learning strategies while incorporating technology into their lesson plans. This project proposal is extremely important as the county has spent vast amounts of money on these devices for students, and they are not being used to maximize student engagement and learning. Several studies have shown that implementing a problem-based learning environment with the availability of the use of technology can greatly increase student engagement and achievement in a classroom setting. A research study conducted by Savoy and Hughes that incorporated a problem-based approach with the integration of technology in a 9th grade social studies classroom found that students were highly motivated and eager to share their thoughts and ideas about the problem and information they had learned. Therefore, as all students at Rockdale County High School have their own laptop devices, it is imperative we use these resources to increase student engagement and achievement at Rockdale County High School for all students and change our approach to teaching. Many students at Rockdale County High School do not maximize their full potential for a variety of reasons. With the implementation of a problem-based learning environment, students will be able to retrieve, evaluate, and make decisions based on information they have gained for themselves. The implementation of a problem-based learning method, along with the introduction of the county's one-to-one initiative, provides an excellent opportunity to increase student engagement and achievement in the classroom setting. This project incorporated a variety of digital tools and resources, including Prezi, Skype, Animoto, and online resources for the students to use to research a real-life problem our society is currently facing: the overcrowding prison population in the United States. Students were required to draw conclusions regarding the various reasons and problems associated with our overpopulated prisons in the United States. Students collaborated with local law enforcement using Skype as well as through internet research to gather information. Students also researched and collaborated to create solutions for the overpopulated prison systems in the United States. The implementation of digital tools and resources, as well as a problem-based approach, was meant to increase student engagement and achievement for students in my street law and the individual elective class that I teach at Rockdale County High School. Additionally, the Capstone project sought to increase the frequency of problem-based learning through professional development sessions that were created and delivered to the social studies teachers at Rockdale County High School, which focused on the implementation of problem-based learning and digital tools and resources that can be used to help facilitate the implementation. The objectives for this project include increasing student engagement in the elective street law and the individual class by having students consume and produce various forms of multimedia tools. Additionally, we're going to increase the frequency of problem-based instruction in the social studies department at Rockdale County High School. The deliverables for this project include pre- and post surveys designed to gauge student engagement and interest levels during the project, a multiple choice formative assessment quiz to assess students' knowledge gained during the project, as well as professional development from my colleagues at RCHS on problem-based learning strategies and digital tools that can help them implement problem-based learning into their own classes. The evaluation of this proposed project was assessed in a variety of ways. Student surveys were used to assess the effectiveness of the project to engage students, and quiz scores from the classes were compared to determine if the problem-based approach did increase student learning retention more than the traditional lecture-based approach. A pre-survey was administered before the implementation of the project to examine how engaged students have been in class up to this point. Upon completion of the project, students also took a post-survey, and the results were compared to the pre-survey to examine the effectiveness of the lesson. The students' final projects were also assessed using a rubric to examine the effectiveness of the lesson. Data provided by students' pre- and post-surveys, quizzes, and final project grades allowed for a thorough examination of the project to see if it was indeed successful in increasing student engagement and achievement through the use of problem-based learning in the one-to-one setting as opposed to that of a traditional lecture-based learning environment. The setting for this capstone project was Rockdale County High School and involved a social studies elective class offered at the school called Street Law and the Individual. This class had a student enrollment of 32 total students, with 14 being male and 18 being female. This class included students with individualized education plans, behavior intervention plans, as well as 504 plans. This class had a demographic makeup of 6 Caucasian students, 24 African American students, and 2 Latino students. I am Justin Arrington, and I am the instructor for the course. I've been an educator for the past 10 years and have been teaching the Street Law and the Individual elective class for the past 4 years at Rockdale County High School. The process for beginning the implementation of the Capstone project began in the summer of 2016. During this time, I found a variety of resources online that the students could use to research statistics related to the overcrowded prison system in the United States, as well as the costs associated with incarcerating individuals. After I found a variety of these resources, I then posted them on a website for the students to use once we actually began the Capstone project. The actual implementation of the Capstone project began in September of 2016. The project began with me dividing the students into collaborative groups of 4 to begin their problem-based learning activity. Once assigned in a group, students were instructed to go to the website I created that provided a variety of links to resources that discuss the prison system in the United States, as well as the costs associated with housing inmates on a yearly basis. Also from this website, students were directed to a variety of resources and websites that illustrated the various amounts of money states spend on students' education on a yearly basis. Throughout the research phase of the project, I ensured I journaled my observations in regards to individual and group participation and engagement during the project. Once students were allowed to research and discuss their findings in their group, the next step in the Capstone project called for the groups to hold Skype conversations with local law enforcement officials to discuss problems they see locally in the community regarding overcrowding prisons. However, not enough officials were available for each group to have a private Skype meeting, so a need to deviate from the original proposal arose. A senior law enforcement official from the community came to the class to host a classroom-based discussion and question and answer session to ensure the students still have the opportunity to talk to and collaborate with a person closely tied to the problem they are trying to solve. Upon completion of the students' research and meeting with a local law enforcement official, the students were then required to research possible alternatives to incarceration, as well as the costs associated with the alternatives. Once the student groups completed their research regarding possible solutions to incarceration alternatives, they were required to make a multimedia presentation using Prezi, Animoto, or other similar multimedia presentation tools to create a presentation discussing ways we could reduce the prison population in the United States. Upon completion of the student multimedia presentations, each presentation was shown to the class, and the students finished the unit with a summative quiz. Based on the review of observational data and student performance on both the project and summative assessment, the overall outcome of the Capstone project was engaging for the students. During the October Social Studies Department meeting, Social Studies Department teachers received professional development on the purpose and benefits of problem-based learning, as well as instructions on the use of Skype, Animoto, and Prezi. Feedback on the intent of the teachers to implement problem-based learning was obtained through the ticket out the door, and it was found a majority of the teachers plan to implement at least one problem-based lesson per semester. The final step of the project involved the implementation of a PERS survey to assess the students' perception of problem-based learning. According to the student surveys conducted upon completion of the project, more than 85% of the class enjoyed being able to find information on their own, and more than 90% liked being able to discuss their findings within the group. I also noticed throughout the Capstone project that most all the students seemed engaged during the research and discussions. I also noticed that all students group turned in a multimedia presentation related to the problem-based learning activity, and over 90% of the students passed the summative quiz at the end of the project. Throughout the process of completing this Capstone project, it was very evident that using learner-centered strategies and making the learning experience authentic for students increased their engagement in the class. This experience allowed me to model and facilitate the effective use of digital tools and resources to support and enhance higher order thinking skills, as well as model and facilitate the use of research-based, learner-centered strategies addressing the diversity of all students to increase student engagement throughout the project. Overall, the Capstone project was successful, and I feel that I've gained some valuable insight while completing this project. The students were engaged throughout the project as they appreciated the opportunity to research and discuss findings in small groups, as well as trying to come up with a solution to a real-life problem. Furthermore, I also noticed that in the small group setting, some students participated in their group discussions that usually do not participate in whole class discussions. One negative to the internet-based authentic learning experience was the actual use of the internet. One suggested improvement for the project would be the implementation of web zones or web filters to help ensure students stay on task and on the appropriate web pages while working on the project.